Call of the Void contains strong language and possible trigger warnings and is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Daekon.
Hi, I'm Jack.
And welcome to Call of the Void, a podcast about all things weird and macabre. Now, so this week is a little bit different than normal.
At this point, I mean, we're just different, so...
So I found backstory time.
Mm-hmm.
I found a weird fan series that I just kind of stumbled across, and then later I found that a YouTuber that I like did a thing on it, and I watched it, and I was like, we need to talk about this. Because I kind of want more people to know that it exists, because it's very interesting and odd for what it is. So it's a SpongeBob fan series called SpongeBob Beyond, and then also called The Tale of Blue. So it's very strange.
Yeah, to say the least.
And in episode 1, like the narrator is kind of unbearable. But you only have to deal with that for like one episode, and then it goes away. But I don't know. Like,
I think they kept that guy on as an additional voice actor, though, because one of the fish in the second episode sounded an awful lot like the guy.
I think they kept him, but also took him off of like being the narrator. I mean,
like I said to you when we were watching it just before recording this, because Daekon had me watch the whole thing. In a rare instance of, no, I want you to see the thing before I talk to you about the thing. And one of the things I said was that I found a lot of the narrator's choices in the first episode to be very odd. Even for a series as odd as this is.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of, I found a lot of the voice acting choices to be weird.
Oh, absolutely. But
in some cases, it sounds like it's maybe their first take that they just used.
It primarily, overall, I feel like a lot of these people probably aren't voice actors, and this is most likely their first go.
Yeah,
at something like this. So
this seems like something that they're just doing because they want to.
Yeah, in the interest of fairness, I do want to point that out.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
that they want to like get the story out there, even though they're not necessarily like, you know, trained voice actors or whatever. I get it.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's, you know, it's so if you like SpongeBob at all, I guess. It's a very strange series where like somebody gets clubbed in the head. A lot of people die. Especially in like the later episode.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine there's probably going to be more, but there's like 5 episodes right now. And yeah, this was one of those things where like it was going to be too hard for me to explain. Like,
unless I saw
just what was going on.
Yeah.
Unless you saw the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so after everything, what did you think?
Okay, so I have kind of mixed emotions about the whole thing. Primarily, it's a negative one. But, like, there were several moments while I was watching it that a piece of me was like, and but like Tom Servo in that one episode where they were watching the Wild Wild World of the Batwoman, which, as far as that's concerned, never again. But God, I hate that. But anywho, I I feel like I should preface this by saying I'm not a SpongeBob fan to begin with, so this isn't something that I would have watched on my own without your intervention.
That's fair.
But yeah, so I felt that the pacing was very weird and very slow. I feel like I kind of get what they're trying to do, and I feel like there is probably some kind of interesting story that they're trying to tell. It's just I don't feel like I fall in their demographic. So
No.
yeah, so whereas I don't like it really overall, I want in the interest of fairness, I'm probably not one of the people that, you know, they were thinking of when they made this. I think overall it's a pretty good effort for a fan thing. Yeah. You know, one of the other things I wanted to point out, too, that I also said to you between episodes 1 and 2 is that the animation gets drastically better between the first episode and the rest of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like it's a bunch of people that were just like, hey, we really like SpongeBob and we are fans of this thing and we have an idea and we want to go for it. And in which case, kudos, because you're doing the thing.
And I mean, so part of me feels like I like the series. I think it's interesting, and I feel like it's something that I want more people to watch. So I'm not going to go super into detail as far as like what the plot of the thing is.
Yeah.
But I do think it's something that I want other people to experience and see for themselves. Because it is at base level interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, one of my biggest issues is the pacing.
Yeah, the pacing is very weird.
Because the pacing is weird and it's slow, and there were times where as much as I found myself going, and there were parts of me that were also saying, oh, is this what they're trying to do here? You know, so it is interesting. It's just, I wish the pacing were better.
Yeah. But, so, very early on, it starts off as a SpongeBob thing. Mm-hmm. And it's from 12th Art Group. Well, that's the name of the people who made the thing. And if you look at their YouTube channel, a lot of their stuff, and especially like if you look at their YouTube channel or their Twitter or everything else, a lot of their stuff revolves around Blue, this like dolphin character that they have. Mm-hmm. And it feels like, I don't know, like it shifts from being about SpongeBob at all to being more about the world of Beyond and going into like Blue's story, like after the first 2 episodes. Like there is very little.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine. Like there's very little about SpongeBob that continues on after like the first little bit, and then SpongeBob pops back in at the end, but like this feels more like a medium to put their little OC someplace than anything, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, honestly, one of the things I like about it is the fact that it's, you know, I like that shift. I like the fact that it starts out with these characters that everybody knows, and then it completely shifts from their mundane, oh, let's go do this, Patrick, to this whole other serious story that's happening with these other characters. I kind of really dig that.
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of enjoy the shift from like Patrick and SpongeBob to other things. I just, it's like I said, it just feels sort of like an odd choice.
It's a fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's a fan fiction that's focusing primarily on their original characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I've read some fan fiction like that that's pretty good. It all depends on how you present it.
Yeah. But like I said, I think it's something that people should definitely watch. I mean, to give like a kind of brief description, SpongeBob and Patrick need to go to this city of horror, air quotes, to get spices because the Krabby Patty like formula needs spices and they no longer have them. And when they actually make it to this place called Beyond, there are these sharks that are basically trying to take over the city. And they'll basically kidnap and or kill anybody who gets in their way. And yeah, I mean, that's the basic premise. And there's also a character named Blue who comes in like the last 2 episodes.
Who's kind of Conan the Barbarian-esque.
Yeah. He's this like, he's a dolphin who is trying to break out a character named Green from being held by sharks. And then, I mean, there's not a lot that goes on in the first 5 episodes. I mean, there is a lot, but the plot doesn't drive forward a whole lot because, like you said, the pacing is pretty slow.
Yeah.
But I do think for sure that it's something that you know, that other people should watch, and maybe they'll make more because I'm interested to see where the story goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have you tell me because I don't know if I could sit through more.
We'll see. We'll see if I can make you sit through more.
No. Oh God.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it's nice to see, like, I don't know, as odd as it may be, like, it's nice to see a couple creators taking like the basis of something and spinning it to tell their own story like this, especially in a video like animation format.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As much as I've said I'm not really into it and it does have its issues, I'm kind of proud of these people for doing this.
Yeah, because not a lot of people can do what they've done.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of people can create something like this and it actually be kind of decent.
Animation is hard.
Yeah, animation takes a lot of time. The last episode was uploaded in February.
Yeah. It's insane how much goes into it, which is why not even the animation. I mean, as I said before, you know, the fact that it got so much better between the first episode and the rest of them is kind of cool, but, you know, even if they had stuck with the animation from the first episode, I kind of can't fault them for it because animation's hard.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do definitely encourage everyone to like go out, give it a shot, because I mean, I've seen some stuff like animation wise that people have done before, and like I said, hopefully they continue to make more, because like I said, the last episode was in February and I definitely want to see more of this. It seems like an interesting show, even though it's, you know, it's a bit odd. It's a bit darker than SpongeBob we normally see. I mean, though SpongeBob around, like, I don't know, the latter seasons of SpongeBob got kind of weird and dark.
Yeah, I didn't I say that to you when we were watching this? That
yes, we did.
It felt like it totally could be something that would be later SpongeBob, because as much as I'm not a fan of the series, I do know a little bit about the series, and I know that it got fucking weird when it got
I mean,
toward the
there's a
later
couple
seasons.
episodes that just got like really weird of like actual SpongeBob. There's one where he gets like a splinter and his thumb swells up really big, and then when he pulls it out, there's pus everywhere, and it's really odd.
Yeah, so I know that episode because I used to watch. I haven't in a while, not for any reason other than I just haven't watched anything of his, but I used to watch this YouTuber called I want to say his name was the Fantastic Mr. Enter or something like that, and he would talk about animation and stuff like that, and you know, because he's a huge fan of animation, so a lot of his channel was either calling out really, really awful animation or and cartoons and plot and stuff like that, and also giving kudos to things that were really great. Like he did a really lovely episode about an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog that made me almost cry. But yeah, he kind of he did an episode about that specific Splinter episode of SpongeBob, so I'm very aware of it.
It's really odd. But yeah, it's a really, really weird episode, and I really don't like that episode a lot. It makes me very uncomfortable.
I feel like nobody does. Is there anybody that likes that episode?
I don't know. I don't really know why they made it to begin with. Like, it's just it's gross for the sake of being gross. And I'm not a huge fan of that kind of thing, personally. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you're right in that it does feel like something that could fit at home in an actual SpongeBob episode. If for whatever reason SpongeBob decided one day that they wanted to stop telling a story about SpongeBob and tell a story about a completely different character.
Yeah.
But yeah, do definitely go watch it. Again, it's called SpongeBob Beyond. It's on YouTube. It's by 12th Art Group. I don't know. It gives me it's going to be weird when I say this, but it gives me it gives me some like really good Salad Fingers vibes.
That's why I don't like it.
Because I love Salad Fingers.
I don't at all. It was huge when I was in high school.
Oh my god, David Firth is so good.
And you know how I feel about weird shit. And I remember so many of the people I was in high school with would like quote it and shit. Oh, I like rusty spoons and all that bullshit. And I would just look at them like, what the fuck are you watching?
Well, I mean, in the same vein, though, you've seen all the rejected commercials, haven't you?
Are you talking about Don Hertzfeldt?
Yes.
Because Don Hertzfeldt is quite different from Salad Fingers, my friend.
No, but it's also another one of those, like, really weird, like, my anus is bleeding kind of things.
All right, but it's different because Don Hertzfeldt is kind of a fucking genius. So I see the genius of what Don Hertzfeldt has done. I do not see any genius in Salad Fingers.
I really like Salad Fingers. I think it's a great series. It's another one of those like really weird fucking like, I don't know, like it's strange. It peaks on those like there is some dread, like it makes me feel real dread, like something bad is going to happen, even though it usually typically doesn't. Like, I don't know. To be fair, that's relative to who you are, I guess, because there's a couple episodes where really, really bad shit happens. But, I mean, you feel like, you know, like Salad Fingers is going to hurt somebody or something, and he never does on purpose. He has occasionally cooked a kid in an oven by mistake.
So did Gideon.
No, he did that on purpose.
And
some
to
bitch told him to, and he threw it in the oven.
Yes, and to be fair, wound up saving the kid.
I mean, again, blind faith, I guess.
It's The Witcher for anybody that is very concerned right now.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, there's that episode where he's like, hey, I can't reach the things that I'm baking in the back of the oven. Kid, can you go in and get them for me? And the kid goes in and he gets distracted by like a rusty thing on the wall, and he sticks his finger to it and he starts bleeding and he passes out. And then the kid's just cooking alive in the oven because the door's shut behind him. So it's never anything on purpose. But I really love Salad Fingers. It's really good. That's another one that you should definitely go watch if you haven't. But yeah, like I said, I get the same kind of vibes from the SpongeBob Beyond thing as I do with Salad Fingers. It's still this like kind of creepy, like what's gonna happen, like dread, because you never know like what's gonna happen in a Salad Fingers episode. I think he actually released a new one recently.
Really? It's still going on?
I'm pretty sure not too long ago he released another episode of Salad Fingers.
Wow.
But yeah, like
How long has this been going on? Like I said, that shit's been going on since I was in high school.
It's a really long, or it's a really old series, and he still occasionally throws out some new episodes. I mean, they do the same thing with Homestar Runner.
Homestar Runner's still going?
Occasionally they'll throw out a new thing, Homestar Runner.
I've been meaning to check forever, but I was afraid because I was like, nah, they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, occasionally, like every now and again, they'll release some more Homestar Runner stuff. It's very, very rare and occasional. I mean, they did it for April Fools a couple years ago, and but yeah, I mean, they still put out some stuff that's Homestar Runner. They just do it randomly now, whenever they have a chance. Again, it's the same thing with Salad Fingers. It's the same thing with Homestuck at this point. We know how I feel about Homestuck. For those who aren't big fan, or who don't follow us on any other platform but Call of the Void, like Homestuck is one of those things that I'm really weird about, because on Tumblr, I was around on Tumblr when Homestuck just started, and it was a hellscape for a little bit.
I have no idea what anything about Homestuck is.
Yeah, it's a very strange series, and everybody I've ever talked to has been like, it doesn't get good until like the first 300 pages, and I'm like, I don't have that kind of time, fam.
That's how I feel about a certain video game I won't mention, because everybody loves this fucking video game, and I'm like, I really don't though, and people yell at me for it.
You'll have to tell me about that after we finish recording.
Oh yeah, I've told you before what it is, so
probably,
when I say, but
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, when I tell you what it is, you're gonna be like, oh yeah.
But yeah, like I said, there's I get a lot of those same vibes off of the SpongeBob Beyond series, and you should definitely go check it out. It's a neat little thing. You can just type in SpongeBob Beyond on YouTube and it'll show up. But yeah,
I really liked genuinely, I really liked the Archer character.
Yeah, that was really cool.
He's super cool.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to describe like why exactly I like the show, because I would like to be like, yeah, this is like, here's why I like it.
Oh no, there are definitely things that I've seen that aren't even particularly good, but I like it for whatever reason.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, is there anything in particular that, I mean, other than the Archer character that you liked about it?
Like I said earlier, I really enjoy the fact that there was that departure and we're talking about these other characters. Again, I'm not a fan of SpongeBob, so I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but I personally have never seen any other Sponge characters in the series, so...
So SpongeBob's parents and his grandmother shows up every now and again, but they're the only other sponges that exist.
Okay, so other than his relatives, I had never seen or known of any other Sponge characters, and the fact that they introduced two was kind of cool.
The fact that, like, the one guy's name is Sponge Pop.
I love that. I actually, I misheard it the first time, and this was one of the times that the subtitles that they provided helped out a lot, because I heard him say, SpongeBob entrusted me with this, and I was like, you just met this guy,
him,
you know, why
yeah.
would that matter? And then I saw in the thing it said Sponge Pop, and I went, oh, I really like that.
Yeah, it's Sponge Pop and Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so Rachel is a cool character. It's strange to me that she is SpongeBob in drag.
Okay, so I have weird feelings with Rachel, because Rachel, I feel like, I don't think she's as good a character as she could be. I feel like her entire character so far is to be the intended love interest of SpongeBob, and also in the background to be a character that everybody is worried for when shit goes down.
Yeah.
Also, in talking about the animation, her animation is one of the things I was very confused about, because it keeps going back and forth.
It keeps changing, yeah.
Yeah, there was actually a couple of moments where it didn't register at first that it was the same character to me. And when I noticed that the hair was the same, I went, oh, okay. You know.
Yeah, there's a couple moments where, like, her animation style changes. There's also a couple moments where, like, Billy's voice actor changes. I don't know if you noticed it.
I didn't.
Billy's voice changes sort of drastically for, like, a little bit. Maybe it's only for just, like, a scene or two. And then it goes back to being, like, what it was.
It's strange that I didn't pick up on that if it's that drastic.
Well, I mean, it was more towards the last episode that I noticed it. But whenever he started, like, whispering and stuff, you could tell that it was a different voice. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't, because he did, like, a freak out, and his, like, his voice got a lot higher pitched. And he sounded like a completely different person. And I don't mean that as like, oh, wow, I mean, people can make their voices sound like different things, because I fucking do that all the time. But
and you're good at it.
But I mean, like, it sounded more like he was, it was just a completely different actor doing the voice for him.
Yeah.
For, like, that little bit, because it was almost like the accent changed a little bit.
Yeah. One of the funny things, though, and I had to stop myself, and I'll explain in a second, I didn't realize at first that Blue and his friends were supposed to be dolphins at first.
Oh.
I thought they were rebel sharks, like that one shark.
Yeah. And
I thought, oh, they're probably just a different species of shark, and then when it dawned on me that they were dolphins, the thing I had to stop myself for was I almost went, oh, they're dolphins, out loud. And I was like, no, don't prove you're a dingus.
No, I mean, there were a couple things like that I stopped myself from giggling. Like whenever, I think it's in the very like first episode when they're going on the thing and they're putting up those signs or whatever, and it's like Patrick through his genius, showed his calculations, and there wasn't gonna be a meteor that hit right now.
Oh,
And I was like, what? Excuse me?
I loved that. I honestly loved that. That was one of my most favorite things in the whole
Yeah, I
series
had
so
this
far.
stifle laughter there, and then they take 2 steps out and immediately get hit by a meteor. Oh, God. But yes, it is a very neat, interesting show. And I like it. Jack has some mixed feelings about it because I guess salad fingers, but
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I think this is infinitely better than salad fingers.
wow,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I think I need to go take some lessons in how to make somebody feel better.
But yeah, so go check it out. It's really cool. Yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say about it. Like, I don't want to give too much else away, but
there were things I genuinely thought were pretty cool about it. As I said before, if not for the pacing, I would actually be even a little bit interested to see where it goes.
yeah.
But I don't know if I could keep watching.
I mean, my hope is that as they create more episodes, the pacing will get better.
Yeah.
And that they'll fix some of those issues.
Yeah.
I
mean, it got infinitely better again between the first and second episodes, so
yeah, it did.
It's totally within the realm of possibility that they'll get better and better as they go.
Yeah. I mean, because right now I think the pacing's weird because they also have to like incorporate the new world that they're in, and world building takes a little bit of time whenever you're writing stuff. I mean,
that's actually one of the other things I liked about it, the fact that we're not in Bikini Bottom for it.
Yeah.
That it takes place outside of this very insular town that the show takes place in.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I think it's really neat that, like, I mean, they're having to build the world around Beyond and the characters that live in this completely different place and show us basically what's going on there before they get into the story proper. Yeah. And so I'm like I said, I'm hoping that, like, now that they're sort of getting those kinds of like world building moments out of the way, the pace will pick up a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, with that, I think that's really all the time we've got for this episode. But we wanted to take a moment before we go to do our normal end of show announcements and stuff. First off, we'd like to give a huge thank you to Gideon and Bat for hosting us on their website, fierceferrets.com. You can check them out on Twitch at twitch.tv/fierceferrets. They are wonderful, and they do great streams, and they're a lot of fun. And yeah, if you want to hear us and other things, we are in The Last Light and Drunk Fandom, 2 other podcasts that are on their website. As we do. I play a wonderful bug boy sniper in Last Light, and Jack is
an android mystic.
Yeah.
Who does magic.
Yeah, they do magic. And yeah, so you can find us there, and we're also sprinkled into Drunk Fandom every now and again. Like whenever things come up for us to talk about. Stranger things, you might say.
Yes.
I really need to get on that.
Yeah. And also, we are on social media. We are on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same username for both, at the COTV podcast. So follow us for updates and memes and all that good stuff. But also, if you have any ideas for future episodes that you would like to send our way, that would be greatly appreciated, because as we've said before, there's only so much our tiny little lizard brains can come up with to talk about on our own, and
Yes.
We'll give you a shout out if we use your idea.
Yeah. Also on the same vein, we have a Discord that you can join by joining our Patreon.
Yes.
I think it's the $10 tier?
No, it's
Or is it the
$5 tier and up gets you Discord access. It is a Patreon exclusive Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, it also gets you some other perks, such as having your name read at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I think currently the only two that we have three now. We have three now.
Yeah, because the Fierce Ferrets upped their pledge.
Yeah, so thank you so much to Brandonson, to Jerda, and to Fierce Ferrets. You guys are all wonderful, and thank you for believing in us. We very much appreciate it. Again, for those who don't know, we have a Patreon, and we have a coffee that you can donate things to us and keep the show going. You can keep the lights on.
Yes.
It keeps the monsters away for a little bit.
Yes. At least the bad ones.
Yeah.
Not the ones we invite in.
But, so is there anything else that we need to say?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. And until then, sweet dreams.
Bye.